KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now with Mark Hanrahan and Jeremy Legoo.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Nicole Hernandez. Mark is off tonight, so let's get started. The suspect accused of killing 2 people near Minnehaha Park appeared in court today, days after police say he confessed to the murders and helped one of the victims cover up a different death. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is untangling this complicated case.
Mr. Kenny, did you understand the rights that I just read to you?
Yes, I did.
This is 25-year-old Brandon Kenny, the main suspect in the murder of 2 people December 8th near Minnehaha Park. 37-year-old Colton Russell shot 6 times. His passenger, 23-year-old Kiara Morgan Weiland, stabbed 51 times. Her father speaking with KREM 2 earlier this week.
For a whole week, we were afraid that nobody would come to justice.
Police arrested Kenny on Saturday, 2 days after serving a high-risk search warrant at this home near the double murder scene. According to court documents, Kenny admitted to the murders and something else. Detectives say the 2 victims, Weiland and Russell, were also suspects in the disappearance of 49-year-old Janelle Martinson. She was reported missing earlier this month, and police found her body last Thursday along South Madison Road in Valley Ford. Police say they found blood on the carpet and walls of Russell's Spokane Valley home. According to court documents, Kenny said he helped Russell dump the body and told investigators he decided to kill Russell days later when Russell expressed fear that Kenny would talk to police about the missing woman. Kenny said he threw the pistol and the pocket knife he used into the Spokane River, according to court documents. The 25-year-old is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Today, District Court Judge Jennifer Fossbender kept bond at $1 million. In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, Comcast is warning Xfinity customers of a data breach that could have compromised personal information. The internet company says the breach happened between October 16th and the 19th. They said in a court document the breach impacted more than 35 million people. The hackers likely got info like usernames and passwords, and even potentially info like the last 4 digits of your social security numbers, contact details, and security questions and answers. Also new tonight, public schools across Idaho are getting money for the current school year. The Idaho Land Board presented a check to the Superintendent of Public Instruction at the Idaho Capitol building today. The Idaho Department of Lands says the schools will get more than $61 million, and they say that's the largest chunk of the more than $100 million they're giving out. They're also giving money to things like the Idaho School for the Deaf and Blind, University of Idaho, Lewis and Clark State College, and more. Now to your night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. After 4 weeks, the trial of Richard Aguirre is over now. He's accused of killing Ruby Doss in 1986. Today, KREM 2 was in the courtroom where the closing arguments mostly were about DNA evidence. The defense says investigators cross-contaminated evidence by handling items without gloves, but prosecutors say there's no evidence they actually touched anything with bare hands. This is a bench trial here, so a judge will make the final ruling on whether Aguirre is guilty or not. He should issue the ruling by December 26th. Deputies identified another person the Green River killer murdered almost 40 years after her remains were found in Auburn. The King County Sheriff's Office says new DNA technology helped them figure out she was Lori Ann Rozpotnik. The Sheriff's Office says the girl's mom gave them a DNA sample in order to confirm the identity. Gary Ridgway pleaded guilty to murdering her back in 2003. And developing now, former President Donald Trump is not allowed on the Colorado primary ballot. The state Supreme Court made the landmark decision this afternoon. The justices ruled 4-3 that Trump should be disqualified from the primary ballot under an amendment that bars people from holding office who have taken an oath to support the Constitution and then, quote, engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the Constitution. The Trump campaign already appealed the decision. That was your night beat, so to learn more about any of those stories, you can head over to our website, krem.com. We do want to take a look at our weather now because it looks like we won't be having a white Christmas here in the Inland Northwest, unfortunately. So to tell us more about that, we have our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo, here with us. So Jeremy, instead of a white Christmas, what do we get?
Rain.
Okay.
And more drab conditions and maybe a little bit of fog. So hopefully, kids, Rudolph comes out because this foggy pattern just isn't going to break anytime soon. 37 degrees as we currently sit. Dew point of 36 means fog formation is likely. When your dew point and your temperature are within 4 degrees of each other, that is the perfect environment for fog formation. A few more things you need, well, a little bit of moisture and light winds, and guess what? We've got wet roads and some light winds. A few scattered showers, and those likely continue overnight. I don't think we have too much activity, but I do think we get a couple of rounds here in the inland northwest. Eventually it moves out, and I think tomorrow, foggy, cloudy, cloudy, foggy. And that's what takes us through Thursday as well. No major change in the overall weather pattern, so expect those drab conditions to continue. We do have another storm that hits Friday. Doesn't look great, but we'll talk the impacts of that coming up in the full forecast.
The Biden administration is investing more than $51 million to restore rivers and watersheds. The bipartisan infrastructure law is giving 8 different states money. Washington and Idaho are both getting more than $6 million. The funding will help improve both states' floodplains, update fish passages, and restore aquatic habitat. Google has agreed to pay $700 million to states and consumers to settle an antitrust lawsuit. The Justice Department and dozens of states accused the company of pushing its search engine. They say Google allegedly made it harder for other search engines to do well by making deals with wireless carriers and smartphone makers to make Google search their default or exclusive options. Today, U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is reassuring travelers that airports are more prepared for this year's holiday travel rush. The Travel Association says an all-time record of 7.5 million people could fly this year. Buttigieg says his agency is working to make sure flights stay on schedule, but of course, weather can always cause delays.
We may see some bad weather impacting travel around Christmas and New Year's. FAA is working closely with airlines to plan for that possibility. So if you are concerned about weather affecting your travel plans, please remember to check directly with your airline for the most up-to-date information about your flight.
He also announced some positive news for the last year of travel. So far, 2023 has seen the lowest number of flight cancellations in the last 5 years. Locally, when you fly out of Spokane International specifically, also be ready for record-breaking crowds. The airport says they think this travel season could be one of the busiest in history. More than 200,000 people are scheduled to arrive and depart between December 19th and January 2nd. That's an 11% increase over last year. The Friday before Christmas, by the way, December 22nd, and the day after Christmas, Tuesday, December 26th, those should be your busiest days. Our recall alert tonight. Empower Brands is recalling more than 300,000 air fryers ahead of the holiday season. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the company is recalling 2 models of the Power XL dual basket air fryer. More than 40 people have complained to the agency. 3 of those are complaints about burns and alleging the fryer can break while you use it. Kohl's, Walmart, and Target sold the air fryer. Well, the reveals continue for the brand new Spokane Velocity FC. The USL Men's League One squad released their kits yesterday. The home kit, take a look at it here, is what's being called River Rapid White and the team's Impact Blue. The away kit is in Basalt Black and that same Impact Blue, both with the team logo right across the chest there. You can actually start buying these kits on January 1st. And T-Mobile Park is transforming for one of the most unique NHL games of the season. The Seattle Kraken will face off against the Vegas Golden Knights on New Year's Day for the NHL Winter Classic. An ice truck is already at T-Mobile Park, getting ready to turn it from a baseball diamond into an ice rink. Crews say the roof on the park will make it easier to keep things frozen.
We're constantly fighting snow, rain, and outdoor environments. Humidity here, we'll have to deal with humidity. It'll frost the ice up on us and we'll have to deal with that every day. But for sure, having the roof here is a big plus for us. It kind of takes that wonder out of the equation for us.
The crew says it will take about 25,000 gallons of water to make enough ice for the rink. Puck drop at noon on New Year's Day. And if you want any of our Locked On content, including Seahawks and Kraken, head over to KREM 2+. If you don't already have it, it is free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. And that was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.